What if the internet suddenly disappeared? It may sound like a simple question, but in reality, it would change the world in ways most people cannot imagine. Today, the internet is not just for social media or entertainment. It is the backbone of modern society. According to reports from the International Telecommunication Union, more than 5 billion people use the internet daily. This means that if it disappeared, over half of the world would be affected instantly. In the first few minutes, confusion would spread. Messages would fail to send. Websites would stop loading. Online services like email, cloud storage, and communication apps would suddenly stop working. Companies that depend on online systems would freeze. Many businesses today that rely on cloud platforms and digital infrastructure, as explained by studies from McKinsey and Company. Within hours, the economic impact would begin. Global markets depend heavily on internet connections. Financial institutions use online systems for transactions, trading, and communication. According to research from World Bank, digital infrastructure plays a critical role in global economic stability. Without it, stock markets could crash, and financial transactions would slow down or stop completely. After one day, essential services would start to suffer. Hospitals, airports, and emergency systems depend on the internet for coordination and data sharing. A report from World Health Organization shows that modern healthcare systems rely on digital communication for patient data, research, and emergency response. Without the internet, delays and errors could increase, putting lives at risk. Communication would also be deeply affected. While traditional systems like phone calls might still work for a while, many modern networks are connected to internet-based infrastructure. Social isolation would increase as people lose access to instant communication platforms. After a few days, supply chains would begin to break down. According to studies from Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, global trade depends on digital tracking, logistics systems, and real-time data. Without the internet, transportation systems would face delays. Goods would not reach their destinations on time, and shortages could begin to appear in stores. Banks and payment systems would also be affected. Many countries are moving toward digital payments, and without the internet, access to money could become limited. People might not be able to withdraw cash or complete transactions easily. After a week, the situation would become more serious. Governments would try to restore communication systems and create temporary offline solutions. However, rebuilding such a complex global network would take time. The internet is not controlled by one single system, but by millions of interconnected networks. At the same time, some positive changes might appear. People would start to reconnect in real life. Face-to-face communication would return. Local communities might become stronger as people rely more on each other instead of digital tools. However, the overall impact would remain extremely negative. Scientific research shows that modern societies are deeply dependent on digital infrastructure. A study published in Nature highlights how interconnected systems increase efficiency but also create vulnerability. When one major system fails, the effects can spread quickly across different sectors. In the long term, countries would try to rebuild the internet or create alternative systems. New technologies might emerge, possibly more secure and less centralized, but this process could take months or even years. So what would happen if the internet disappeared? The truth is simple. The world would not stop, but it would slow down dramatically. Economies would struggle, communication would break, and daily life would become much harder. The internet is not just a tool anymore. It is a critical part of how our world works. And without it, we would realize just how much we depend on something we cannot even see.